Thanks, guys. Now, these two teams are no strangers to state championships, winning 11 between the two. Now, Barb, the defending state champs, they actually knocked out Catholic last year in the quarterfinals.
Now, I am traveling the park, found my way in this scoreboard. This is only one of 3 manual scoreboards left in Major League Baseball, and it also is the second shortest left field. And LSU leads the all-time series 7-2, including 3 straight wins, and that includes the 2009 Baton Rouge Regional.
Well, first, Coach, I think we need to take a deep breath because that was a crazy game. Class 3A championships for the 4th straight year. The Quad Squad pulls through. How are you feeling right now?
The game is tomorrow night at 7 at Pineville, so fans come on out. And if you can't make it, you can catch the highlights on News Channel 5's 5th Quarter with Chris Bailey and myself at 10. Now, Chris, I'm going to have these cheerleaders and football players help me send it back to you at the desk.
Could you picture an LSU and a Ragin' Cajun Super Regional? Well, it could happen. If both teams win their regional, they'll meet up in Baton Rouge for a spot in Omaha. And in this new young offense for LSU, Tiger fans seem to be asking who's going to step up and be the next playmaker.
It's going to be coming down to Anthony Jennings and Brandon Harris. And, you know, we're probably not even going to know who's going to be taking that first snap against Wisconsin and Houston until that game day.
And a big game over in Baton Rouge this morning as the Tigers were looking to go a perfect 10-0 in home games so far this season. LSU's Jordan Mickey and Jarrell Martin certainly played plenty today, but with mixed results. Now, Mickey would swat a game-high 7 blocks. This one in the first half finished off by Mickey himself, plus the foul. He would complete the 3-point play for the 6-point lead. Now we'll take you to the end of the game. Texas A&M hadn't led since 9-7 early in the game, but with 23 seconds left, it's Daniel House putting the Aggies up 65-64. Now on the Tigers' next possession, Josh Gray drives. He's going to lose the rock for his 4th turnover of the night. LSU had 16 as a team. Now A&M would go on to make both free throws, and LSU with the chance to tie it at the gun, but Keith Hornsby's 3-pointer just rims out right in and out of there. Hornsby was just 2 for 8, shooting for 5 points today. Texas A&M would win in Baton Rouge for the first time since 1941. The final score was 67-64, and there were definitely some boos after this one from the LSU fans.
Right now, he's preparing for a state championship game. But just 10 months ago, Richard Cumby's world was turned upside down.
I noticed I had a lump on my neck, so my mom took me to the doctor, and they checked me out that day. He said, come back a couple of weeks and see if it went down, and it didn't go down. And they gave me a needle biopsy, and then they told me it was cancer.
Cumby's mindset for battling this disease? Not what you'd expect.
The doctor told Richard, well, Richard, you have Hodgkin's lymphoma. Richard said, no, I don't. And he was like, yes, you do. And Richard was like, no, I don't. My God said that I don't have Hodgkin's lymphoma. I'm not speaking that on myself. So I would like for you not to speak that on me. But he never claimed that disease.
But before they knew it, his journey with his mom to St. Jude in Memphis began, and his health continued to decline.
We didn't want to lose him. We wanted to save him.
Wrestling with you one day, and then next month, he in a wheelchair, barely could move.
And while away from home, Cumby was not forgotten. Coaches and teammates stayed in constant contact and never stopped praying.
He's just a special kid. You can't put into words what Richard is. Richard's Richard, and there'll never be another one.
He's really like crazy, like funny. He always make people's day better, and he was sharp.
In between treatments, he was able to return to Centline. Let's just say it was some powerful medicine.
The truancy officer say, hold up right here. He got on a loudspeaker and announced to the whole school that he got a special guest, and he said, no other than Richard coming. Then all the classroom doors bust open, and all the kids,
all the kids,
they ran and surrounded him up in the middle of the gym.
And right then is when you saw how much he meant to the other kids at the school.
Now, Richard also plays baseball for UAC. The final game of the season just happened to fall right in the middle of his treatments, and he somehow convinced the doctors to let him come back home to play. And he did, with PICC lines in his arm, receiving chemotherapy during the game.
And he hits a shot into the outfield, and it's probably the longest single I've ever seen. It took him about 10 seconds to get to first base, to the point to where the umpire felt so sorry for him. He said, Coach, I won't even charge you a pinch runner. Get somebody in to run for this kid.
Richard is healthy now. He started all season at defensive end for the Lions, and he's been a leader for a 12-1 team in its first state championship game in school history.
Anything can happen. Don't take life for granted. Don't give up. God's not through with you yet.
Kelsey Wingert, News Channel 5, your local station for sports. As football season begins to come to an end and off-season starts, for some guys it's a chance to relax, and for others it's just a chance to work harder. As football season begins to come to an end and off-season starts, for some guys it's a chance to relax, and for others it's just a chance to work harder.
You either get better or you get worse, and every time I leave the gym I want to say, hey, I got better.
Emmanuel Arsenault, Des Beverly, and Daryl Surgeon are all Cenla natives trying to put Alexandria on the map.
Being in Alexandria, central Louisiana, it's not the biggest city, so not too many people come out of Alexandria.
We have a lot of athletes here, a lot of times overlooked, but it's a lot of talent in Alexandria. Hopefully, they'll bring scouts to see that we have talent in central Louisiana.
After a quick stint in the NFL, Arsenault is now entering his 4th season with the BC Lions in the CFL, whereas Surgeon and Beverly are recent college grads trying to follow in his footsteps, as well as helping the next generation of Cenla stars on the gridiron.
I would tell them, don't get discouraged. If you're able to play the game at a high level, you're going to get the opportunity. So I would just tell those guys just to continue to push themselves, apply themselves in school as well, and just to work hard.
We got to get to the top, and that's just something I would like to just breed or just have rub off on people is the work ethic that I had, because that's pretty much all I had. Saying, you know what, I'm going to be successful regardless of the ins and outs and ups and downs.
And with these guys' successes, hopefully the gates will open for others to follow.
A lot of guys that's from the Alexandria area really haven't had the opportunities just to branch out or just make it to the next level. A couple years ago, breaking that barrier, showing that, hey, you know what, some guy from Alexandria can make it to the NFL or you can make it to the CFL. The sky's the limit. That's pretty much to any kid that's in Cenla, whether they doing the professional sports, whether it's wanting to be a lawyer, doctor, dentist, it's nothing stopping them. And I just encourage every youth just to pursue their dreams because it's possible.
Baby!
In Alexandria, I'm Kelsey Wingert for News Channel 5, your local station for sports.
From KALB, you're watching Sports Extra.
Well, it was a big day for the LSUA Generals. They were upset by Our Lady of the Lake in the first round of the Red River Conference Tournament and had to fight their way through that loser's bracket to hopefully try and get their hands on that automatic bid to the NAIA tournament. And to do that, they had to face OLLU again to advance to the championship game. And do you think they were mad the Saints upset them earlier? Because the Generals went on to win 18-1 to play LSUS in the championship game. Now, to that game, the Generals finished 2-2 against the Pilots during the regular season. Bottom of the third, freshman righty Austin Wilson on the mound. Oliver Christensen laces one into center, and junior Jamal Martin shows off his speed to score from second. An RBI double for Christensen. Pilots lead 1-0. Top 4 now. Dustin Doucette on the bump for LSUS. With 1 on and 1 out, Keegan Kreitzer goes yard with a 2-run home run to left center. They'd have to use a new baseball after that one. Kreitzer, a biology major, puts the Generals up 2-1, but the Pilots would respond in that bottom half. Blair Landry smokes that for a triple to score James Sloan, and we're tied at 2. Now that next batter, Reed LaVille, rips a double to bring home Landry. The Pilots lead and never look back. LSUS would go on to win the RRAC Conference Championship 5-3, but the Generals still have a shot in an at-large bid. Now the Demons still on the road in their long stretch, and we're in action today in a rubber match at Notre Dame. And for the second straight game, NSU jumped to an early 6-run lead and held off a late charge to take an 8-4 win and the series, a successful road trip and statement series win for the Demons. Up next, the Demons stay on the road, but a little shorter of a trip to Abilene, Texas. That game is this Friday. First pitch is slated for 6 p.m. And the good times keep rolling for our local softball baseball teams as Menard Softball won their first title since 2001. The Lady Eagles faced Winfield yesterday in the Class 2A championship game. Menard made it that far last year, but fell short by 1 run, and you can bet that was ringing heavy in their memory as they took the field yesterday, but this year was different. Menard won their 3rd championship in program history. And the NFL draft is officially over. Now, if you've been following the draft grades, you've probably seen a lot of mixed reactions for the Saints. Now, one surprising move is that they didn't draft a receiver or a tight end after trading star tight end Jimmy Graham. Now, the Saints also used 6 of their picks on defensive players. Yesterday was the final day of the draft, and they had 2 picks in the 5th round. Now, they took linebacker Davis Tull with one of those, and Sean Payton says he likes his versatility.